Welcome to my channel, HOA Chronicles. I never imagined my dog would start a neighborhood war. His name was Max, a golden retriever with soft eyes, golden fur, and a kind of loyalty you only find once in a lifetime. When my wife passed away, Max became the only thing keeping me grounded. Every evening we'd sit together on the porch, watching the sun melt behind the white fence she painted years ago. That fence, the rose garden she planted, the porch swing where we shared coffee. All of it was a museum of memories. I didn't need much in life anymore, just peace. And Max? That peace shattered the day I found an envelope under my door. HOA violation notice. Excessive barking. I remember laughing when I read it. Max rarely barked. Maybe once when the mailman showed up, or when a squirrel ran across the yard. He was old, gentle, calm, the last dog anyone would complain about. I figured it was a mistake, but a week later, another letter came. Then another, each one colder, harsher, threatening daily fines if I didn't resolve the issue. By the third notice, they were threatening $500 a day. For a bark I could barely hear. I decided to go straight to the source, the HOA meeting. That's where I met her. Lindu, the HOA president, mid-50s, neatly ironed blouse, hair pulled so tight it looked painful. The kind of woman who measures her grass to make sure it's regulation height. I explained everything. That Max wasn't loud, that he was old, and that these complaints had to be a mistake. But she didn't even look up from a clipboard. Rules, oh rules, she said. We've had multiple complaints. Multiple complaints. From who? She wouldn't tell me. But I had a good guess. My next-door neighbor, Frank, a man who complained when my Christmas lights stayed up a week too long and called code enforcement when I left my trash bin out overnight. He was the type who found joy in misery. One morning, I noticed something strange. At exactly 6 a.m., Frank walked past my house with a whistle in his mouth, a sharp, high-pitched sound that made Max bark once, maybe twice. Then he'd keep walking. The next day, another HOA complaint appeared in my mailbox. That's when it clicked. He was baiting Max, then reporting the disturbance. So I set up a small porch camera, and sure enough, the footage showed Frank blowing that same whistle every morning, smiling as Max barked once or twice. I sent the footage to Linda, thinking that would settle it. 2 hours later, I got a reply. That's outside the scope of HOA enforcement. Outside the scope. They were fining me for something they knew wasn't real. I realized then, this wasn't about rules. It was about control. When the final notice came, stating I owed $500 a day until the issue was resolved, something inside me broke. I wasn't rich. I wasn't young, but I wasn't going to let them take Max away. So, I started digging. Every HOA bylaw, every financial record, every public file I could legally access. I read it all. And that's when I found something. Payments, large ones. Going to a landscaping company, the same company, hired for every neighborhood project. The owner's name, the same last name as Linda's. Her brother, thousands of dollars, month after month, funneled through HOA accounts into her family's business. I couldn't believe it. The woman who lectured me about rules was breaking the biggest one of all. I gathered everything in voices, meeting minutes, public feelings, and put them together into a clean timeline. Then I waited for the next HOA meeting. When it came, the room was packed, people fanning themselves, whispering about fines and yard citations. Linda sat at the head of the table, smug as ever. When my name was called, I walked to the front. Not with anger, but calm focus. Before we talk about my dog, I said, I think everyone here deserves to know where their HOA money is going. Then I turned on the projector. One by one, I showed the transactions, the company name, the shared address, the identical signatures. People gasped, whispers turned into shouts. Someone yelled, "Is that legal?" Another said, "You've been stealing from us." Linda tried to interrupt. This is taken out of context, but no one was listening anymore. The room exploded. Board members exchanged nervous looks, and right there, that night, They voted to remove her from office. Linda burst into tears and stormed out, humiliated. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. A few weeks later, a new election was called. To my surprise, neighbors started knocking on my door. They wanted me to run for HOA president. Me, the man they'd once ignored. The dog guy. I didn't want the job, but maybe peace needed someone who'd actually fight for it. Suprimer accepted. My first act as HOA president was simple. No resident could be fined for a pet without verified, documented proof of a real violation. The second, full transparency. Every HOA expense published online for everyone to see. The neighborhood changed after that. People started talking to each other again. Front lawns became friendlier. And as for Frank, karma caught up to him fast. Turns out, he'd been storing building materials in his backyard, which was a clear violation of HOA code. When I brought it up to him, clipboard in hand, I said the same words Linda once told me. Rules are rules. He didn't like the taste of his own medicine. After that, no more whistles, no more complaints, just quiet evenings and the soft thump of Max's tail against the porch floor. Max got 3 more good years, years filled with peace, sunsets, and naps under the rosebush my wife planted. When it passed, I buried him, right there, beneath those roses, the same spot that caught the morning light first thing every day. Now, when the flowers bloom, I swear I can feel both of them with me. My wife, my dog, and the peace they left behind. Sometimes, new families move into the neighborhood. They'll point at my porch and ask, "Hey, aren't you the guy from that HOA scandal?" He just smiled, rocking gently on the swing. "Yeah," I tell them. It all started with a good dog and a very bad whistle. And every time the wind rustles through the roses, I hear it. A soft bark, carried through the air, reminding me that some battles are worth fighting, especially the ones fought for love and loyalty.